So if you want to practice stuff here, this is kind of a fun thing. So what's nice about simulators is you can do kind of crazy stuff like this that you would never do in real life. At least I would never do this in real life. Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out a new drone simulator. It's called the DCL game, or it's actually made by Drone Champions League. And if you guys are here for the giveaway, I'll have information on that a little bit later in the video. There's going to be some important details you want to know, and first you'll have to figure out which version you're going to want to get. The one I'm using here in the video is the PC version. There's also a PS4 version, PlayStation 4, and also an Xbox version. So I'm going to be giving away, I think, 3 of each. So stay tuned later on the video for details on that. But let's get right into the game, and I'll show you the interface and how it works. And it's pretty fun. I've been playing it for about a day now, and the interface is pretty straightforward. I think the important thing to know about this is that it's a fairly realistic experience in terms of acro mode, but it does have other modes like, let's go here to settings and I'll show you. If you go to here to the setup page, you have the option to choose different flight modes. There is arcade mode, GPS mode, angle mode, and acro mode. And basically, these kind of correspond to the skill level here. So if you set it to newbie, it's going to be arcade mode. Basically, it pretty much flies it for you. You just basically push it forward. And then there's GPS mode, which is it maintains your altitude, kind of like a GPS drone. And then there's there's pro mode, which is basically full control acro. And then there's custom. And I usually just fly the acro mode, which under skill level is custom, which is basically a full control of all aspects of the drone, altitude, and all orientation. Now when you go into controls here, it does let you have an option of using an arcade controller or like a game style controller if you're using like a PlayStation or an Xbox. But in my case, I'm using my X-Lite transmitter, and actually I'm not connecting this via USB. You can do that, of course, to connect to your computer, but what I'm using instead is a FreeSky USB dongle, which acts as a receiver, and so I just bound my radio to that receiver, and then the simulator actually is able to see that as a USB controller. So one thing you want to make sure that once you set up your controller here and have it connected to your computer, you want to make sure it's working. So you go here to transmitter calibration, and you want to make sure that your different channels are working the way they should. So depending upon how your radio is set up, your assignments might be different. So roll is usually aileron. That's usually on channel 1 for most FreeSky radios. And then there's pitch. Throttle is usually channel 3, and then yaw is channel 4. And then you have these other channels for switches. And if anything is inverted, you can just invert this. So for pitch here, I inverted that because even though it looks like it's working properly in the game, it needs to be inverted. So it's something if you feel like you're flying and it's going the wrong way, just go back in here and invert the channel that's going the wrong way. Alright, so let's go back out to the main interface here and to the home section. So I'm not going to do a full tutorial on how this works. This is actually a pretty in-depth simulator. There's a bunch of tutorials here on the DCL website. I would encourage you to go here, and you can follow all the videos that they have, and there's a ton of them that will show you how all aspects of this game actually work. But I'm just going to cover some of the things that are more relevant to, I think, people that are in my audience. So in addition to this obviously being a way you can learn how to fly drones, you can actually enter this thing called the DCL draft here. If you go in here, this actually takes you to a website, and you can use this game here to actually go into the draft, and if you are actually get really good, you can then go into the draft and become a pro pilot and actually fly in these races, the real races in the Drone Champions League. So it's kind of cool. If it's something that you want to do, then you can definitely use this game to build up your skills and then enter the draft, and then maybe you might win and actually get to fly some real drones at that point. You can also see here that there's these events that show up. There's like one, I think it's in one day, 2 hours and 17 minutes from now, the Weekend Continental Arcade Challenge. If you go in here, it shows you what track, and you can actually compete against other pilots to actually win prizes, I believe. I'm not exactly sure if this one is for money or not, but I think I did see a few where actual money was given for winning some of these races. And here are the actual events that are currently available. This will change depending upon when you're actually logged into the system. These are the current active events that are available that you can actually register for, and then these are down here the future events that are locked that you currently can't access until these dates here shown in right here on the right. So all these events here will be under the Fly tab, and then when you go here, there's time attack, free flight, multiplayer, race flow, and events, and those events will actually show up here. So if you're on the main page, you just want to fly, hit the Fly Now button. This will take you into basically one of the maps here, and then it starts off in the timed attack mode or race. So I'll go ahead and I'll quickly demonstrate this for you. So you're actually racing against, I think these are ghost pilots, they're not actual real pilots, but they're based on their times. And just based on the feel of this drone, you can actually adjust all these settings. It's a little floaty, but it's fairly realistic. I think that you can adjust the settings to make it a little bit less floaty. This is again depends on which drone you select. So I'm currently using the lightweight drone, as you can see here in the upper left. And this is your time here, and it shows you what mode that these pilots flew. So actually most people are using a transmitter and they're flying acro mode, although you can see some people got these really good times with a like an Xbox style controller flying angle mode, and even some people flying GPS mode, so it's kind of interesting. If you want to spectate that race that you just flew, you can hit the spectate button. You can actually watch the race in a third person perspective. You can see right here. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. The graphics are fairly good. I'm actually running in medium resolution mode, so it's not even the best, and that's mainly because I am recording this video. If you want decent frame rates while you're recording the footage, I found that running on high quality mode reduced frame rate quite a bit. Okay, so we'll go back out to the main menu. Let's try a different map here. We'll go into the fly section, and instead of time attack, which is racing, we'll hit free flight. And then here you can choose a different drone. So I'm going to switch to the DCL drone. It's a heavier drone. You can see here there's actually only 3 drones available. Lightweight, and it shows you the weight here and speed, and then also heavyweight. And I'm going to just go back to the lightweight drone, and there's different maps you can choose, but some of these are going to be locked. So under easy tracks here, I've already played this quite a bit. This is the map I just flew, the hairpin corner. That you could fly. It's not locked. You have to collect the money and props to actually open up and unlock these other maps. So here's some other maps that I have unlocked and have flown already, but then this one here, I need to collect more props to unlock this track, and I only have 10 out of 12. If you want to unlock this next track here, you need 15. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to actually fly this one here, and under free fly, you are not racing, you're just going to basically explore this map. And I'm just going to show you what this is like. So it shows you the track here, and I'm not actually racing against anyone here, but this is the track that if you want to sort of fly it without sort of the pressure of time, you can see which way this map goes. We'll just kind of run right through just to show you what this map looks like. And there's arrows and everything. You can turn that stuff off if you find that distracting, but I find that it works pretty good. And it's a pretty fun little map here. It basically tells you exactly where you need to go. And then you just dive this building here, and you go into this last gate right here, and that will end your race. And to reset, you just hit the space button or space bar. And if you want to just fly freestyle, don't want to follow the map at all, you can just explore around like this, crash into stuff. But you can actually go over here if you want to start practicing building diving, you could do that. But what I thought was interesting is there's a helicopter pad around here that was a lot of fun to Maddie flip. There it is. So if you want to practice stuff here, this is kind of a fun thing. So what's nice about simulators is you can do kind of crazy stuff with this that you would never do in real life. At least I would never do this in real life. And then there's actually a helicopter over here. Check this out. So you obviously would never do this in real life either. This would be completely illegal. But that's the nice thing about simulators. You can do stuff that you could not do in real life. Let's see if I can Maddie flip the helicopter. Anyway, so if you hit the escape button, it'll take you to this general settings menu here, and you can adjust, for example, if you don't want to use the FPV camera, this gives you the third-person perspective. You can fly that way if you want, but of course I'm going to be using that. You can change your FPV camera angle here, and adjust that if you want more angle. If you want to go faster or slower, the field of view, camera distortion, you can actually turn that on or off, but I actually prefer that off. And you can change your FPV camera lens here, which is kind of cool, which actually adjusts the field of view. You can go here to calibrate your transmitter. You can actually go into drone tuning. You can adjust your rates. Usually for racing, low sensitivity is recommended, although you can adjust that or customize it completely. But I just went with whatever is on the game here. The track line here, you can turn that on and off if you find that distracting. I actually like that, so I left that on. And then you can adjust your music volume, sound effects volume here. I turned all that off because that's just going to be background music that's going to interfere with my voiceover. Anyway, those are the two main features of the game. Basically, there's free flight and there's timed races, and you use actually the timed races to build up points and money and actually unlock things. But you can, in order to actually use that money, you want to go into the customization tab here. And here you can change your drone skin, the way the drone looks. Of course, that's only important if you're flying third person, and has actually no effect in terms of the drone performance. This is purely cosmetic. And so if you want to see how your drone looks and how to distinguish it from other drones while you're maybe watching it in spectator mode, then you can change your look here. And then actually some of these, requires a fair bit of money. You have to build up to actually switch to that, and some of these are going to be locked if you don't have this. So you can see these in red. I don't have enough money, so I can't actually unlock some of these and use them. And the last tab here is the profile tab. This is where you can register your email address. You need to do that if you want to enter any of the events here. So if you want to go to any of the events, here you need to actually go to your profile section and register. Otherwise you can't actually enter any of these events. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the simulator. I think it's pretty good overall. Graphics are pretty decent. The physics are pretty decent. I think I would rather have it be a little less floaty, but I think you could probably adjust that. This is pretty new, so they might be doing updates like other simulators and actually improving that in the future. But it seemed to be flying fairly predictably. I got used to it pretty quickly, so it wasn't too bad. Now for the details on the giveaway, there's going to be 3 keys given away for the PC version, 3 copies of the PlayStation version, and 3 copies of the Xbox version. So if you want to win one of those, you can only leave one comment. You can't leave a comment for each of those and try and win each of those. You have to. You can only leave one and only one comment. If you leave more than one comment, you will be disqualified. And in your comment, just put the hashtag Xbox, hashtag PS4, or hashtag PC, and that'll be your entry. And I'll pick three winners for each of those categories, and I'll make an announcement video in about a week, and actually show who won the 3 copies of each of these. And if you're interested in this game, you can leave a comment down below, and also please like the video. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. There's going to be links to the Steam game, the PlayStation and Xbox versions down in the description, along with links to the DCL channel, their videos, and their website. So if you have more information and more tutorials and everything, that'll be all linked down in the description. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.